All right, guys, this particular morning, I want us to talk about the future of the Gen Z and this movement that came as a strong wave in Kenya, but it's slowly fading away, or it's slowly retreating back to their original, or what I call factory settings, because apparently it seems nothing is moving forward, but we still have to discuss either way the future of the Gen Z. Today, Morara Kebaso had planned a meeting at Uhuru Park, and the meeting was all about the jobless youth. He said that he wants all the youths who are jobless to converge at Uhuru Park and air their displeasure with the government, or perhaps air their voices with the government. And something interesting that we cannot afford to ignore in this particular meeting is the organizers of this particular meeting, because in attendance is Arnold Maliba. Arnold Maliba, remember, was a strategic communication advisor of the UDA party. Arnold Maliba has been over and over on the channels, the TV stations, articulating the agenda of the UDA party and praising President William Samoei Ruto. But in the recent turn of event, I'm yet to find out if he was fired or what really transpired. Arnold Maliba has somersaulted and he's on the front line attacking UDA party. And a recent interview that I managed to watch, he was so vicious against President William Samoei Ruto, saying that the president is doing what he called content creation because he's moving here and there. And also he said that especially the contribution that the president made of 20 millions into the church recently, I think 3 weeks ago, Arnold Maliba said that we know the source of this president, or the salary of these particular individuals. We know that these particular individuals earn this particular amount, but they go left, right, and center every weekend giving out money. Especially, he said that it's 20 million per week. That's too much. So we have to question. And he said in his own words that Kenyans are not fools. Kenyans understand very well what the president earns, what the ministers or the CSS earns, what an MP earns, what an MCA earns, what a governor or a senator earns. So this dishing out of the money doesn't sit well with so many Kenyans. And it's important to note that this is after Arnold Maliba moved from being a strategic communication advisor of the UDA party, and now he's let's say, quote unquote, speaking for Gen Z, because apparently he was to be in attendance, or he is in attendance of today's meeting. And it's so very interesting because we don't know, because what's the end game, or what's the end plan of one Maliba, and what's their friendship with Morara Kebaso, because it's important to note Morara Kebaso was one of these Gen Zs, or these individuals that said that he was opposed to the idea of the Gen Z being a leaderless. He wanted them to have a structure, a way to communicate their grievances, and Gen Z had refused that. They said that they were leaderless. But going forward, it's important to ask ourselves, what's the future of the Gen Z? Are they going to remain leaderless, or they should come down and just have a formal structure of engagement? Remember, they've been fronting two candidates, that is Maraga and Okia Omtata. They've been saying that these guys suit their bill for the 2027 general election. It's a good move, yes. And these guys are the two guys that I've just mentioned, guys of reputable nature. A person like Omtata has been in and out of the courts, first fighting for the ills of this government and fighting for the common of Mwananchi. He was in court recently because of the affordable housing, and the court threw it. The government appealed, and finally, yeah, the government had its way, and the affordable housing plan is in continuation. And that is just to mention one thing, but Omtata has been in and out of the court and fighting for the good of Kenyans. And I truly support the Gen Z's choice, because I think this guy, in my opinion, perhaps will not betray the Gen Z. Also, Maraga is another individual. Maraga is this guy that stands firm. Especially, we can remember in 2017 general election, under a lot of pressure. Maraga was under a lot of pressure, but he nullified that election, and he said that the process was not done correctly. He said that the final result of the final outcome of anything depends on the process. That tells you this man is also a man of integrity. It's someone that we should throw our weight behind. But now, when it comes to these young people that are fronting these particular individuals, they remain leaderless to this day, and we are just 2 years away from a general election or another election. Remember, 2027, come January 2027, it will all be around just this noise of campaign. People will be retreating to their original nature to speak, because I know politicians, and they are going to do what we normally say, tribal arithmetic. Then they are going to retreat back to their tribal cocoons to try and woo their voters to support them because of the tribe and not because of their performance. Remember, Kenyans have been complaining all along about bad leadership, and they are trying their best that in 2027 we get it right. We are not going to be fooled. We are not going to buy the narrative of ethnic narrative that will be this is your guy, this guy's hails from your particular region, you should vote for him. But we want to focus on the integrity, performance, corruption-free guy, a person who is not known to raid the coffers of the treasury or the coffers of Mwananchi and steal. And what's the end game? Because when I started this video, I'm trying to analyze and think, what's the end game of the Gen Z? Are Gen Z going to remain leaderless, or it's time they sit down and have a formal structure to engage? I don't know your thoughts. If it is your perhaps a Gen Z, of if you have a certain opinion perhaps that would better the movement, I think it's time young people stand up and try to think about a structure, a formal structure of engagement. If it is your first time on my channel, could you kindly just spare a moment of your time and hit that subscription button and put on a notification bell as well, so that when I do subsequent videos, you'll not miss out. Thank you for watching and have a lovely day.